Good morning. What a great speaker from the previous one. That's the right and resilience. And of course, right and resilience is also a good theme that takes lessons from the COP28 and to help us to be ready for 2024. So I'm coming from Chad. I'm a proud member of the Mbororo communities who are a pastoralist. My people are cattle herders. But we have a few common points between Norway and Chad. But one is harsh environment. Yours is ice and snow. Ours is desert and drought. But we have a common deep relationship. The climate change affects everyone. In Norway, your glaciers are melting. In Chad, the desert is moving and winning the ground. We are all affected. And in Norway as well, in Chad, in Amazon, in Australia, in every place, indigenous peoples are in front line of climate change. Just because of our way of living, who is deeply connected to the nature. Like in my peoples, we take our cattle to get the green grass around all the Sahel regions. So we are still moving from one place to another one to find water and pastures. So during the rainy season, we are very far from the Lake Chad. So that's how we are move with our cattle. And during the dry season, we come next to the Lake Chad where we can find more green grass for our cattle. So it's all depend from our environment to get our milk, to get our food security, to get our economy. But now what is happening? When we are moving, there is not enough natural resources for all of us. So it's become an issue of human rights violations. It's not only the human right, but it is about the survival. And human rights do not respect the deaths. And we hear that from the previous speakers. It's creating conflict between the communities that are fighting to get access to the shrinking resources. And you can see in Africa, since 2010, more than 15,000 people killed each other just because they wanted to get access to a drop of water or to a fertile land. And climate change is caused by the fossil fuel. We all know that. Now it's become a serial killer. And in the next decade, it's become a big, massive murder between the communities. My peoples are living across Lake Chad. So Lake Chad used to be 25,000 kilometers square of the fresh water. In 50 years, our lake dried up on 90% of its water. It used to be our bigger supermarket, our bigger mall, like the mall here. You can go in Oslo or in New York, where you can buy everything. But for us, we take it from the nature because we don't have those kind of supermarket. So nature is everything for us. And I'm not talking about the long history. I'm talking about the life of my grandmother, of my mother, and right now, the life of my cousin. But my worry is my children, my nephew, my nieces cannot get access to this life anymore. So this is unjust. And climate change is moving so fast. And as indigenous peoples, we are the guardian of the various ecosystem. We are the ones who are protecting the forests, the tundra, the savannas, the coral. We know how we can protect our environment and our land are more protected when the fire comes around the forest. It destroys more the places who are industrialized than our indigenous land. But today, it is not only about the rights. It is also about resistance. So what is resistance? For indigenous peoples, it is our way of life. It is our traditional knowledge. This is the resistance. We have always considered our relationship with nature as an alliance. We preserve the ecosystem, and they protect us back. Because well-functioning ecosystem, forest fire can resist, and it can restart very much fertile places. Because in a diverse ecosystem, you can find the biodiversity that you can use as a crops after a drought. Because we know how to use that. We know how to live in harmony with the nature. And that across all the planet, indigenous people land are known like that. We are leading by examples. Even we are 5% of the world's population. We protect 80% of the world's biodiversity because we are the leaders. So we are the most resilient. We can lead by examples in every place. But resistance is also here in Norway, one of the world's top producers of the fossil fuel energy. Resistance is accepting to make things differently and to change quickly. That is why I must say to you today, I do not understand why Norway decide to destroy ocean with a deep sea mining. I don't understand. It leaves me without voice. As an indigenous woman, I don't understand why, when our planet is already dying, you decide to accelerate biodiversity destruction. As an indigenous leader, it is my duty to recall you the word of my dear elder Wangari Maathai. She said, the generation that destroy the environment is not the generation that pay the price. That is a problem. As an indigenous peoples, we take our decision asking ourselves what the 7 past generations done and what will be our action to the next 7 upcoming generations. It is really what you done on your decisions to the deep sea mining? Resistance is imagining implementing a world without fossil fuel energy. A world that cooperates with nature rather than destroying it. A world where we use renewable energy in equity, justice, and biodiversity respect. And in this world is based on strengthening right, improving resilience, and being resistance. Let me conclude with 2 points. One of them, developed world must decide on the way that they want to use just transition energy that respect human rights and indigenous peoples. Our territories as indigenous peoples are the most biodiverse, with 85% of lithium, 75% of manganese, 66% of coltan, 57% of nickel, and even more other resources. So that cannot be used as an just excuse to destroy the indigenous people's land, to steal our territories. We must do that in a smart way, based on the 7 upcoming generations. My second example is here, in my community. I did that with my people who didn't went to school. I used a best satellite imageries with the traditional knowledge of my grandmother and my grandfathers to build a 2D and 3D participatory mapping that helped the community to better share the natural resources, to give women voice to take the decisions. And it's ended up to be the best tool that helped government to do a better strategy for the National Adaptation Plan. Look at the adaptation plan of Chad. You will have a paragraph that respecting the indigenous people's knowledge as experts, as partners. That's what we want, how we can use the best technology, the best traditional knowledge of the communities who based on the centuries of wisdom to combine them and build better our world. I hope that keynote demonstrates to you that indigenous peoples, even we are threatened by climate change, but we are not representing the past. We are the future. And I thank you. Thank you.